So I'm Carlo Vezzoli. This is the course System Design for Sustainability. I hope that you have some interest in sustainability, the environmental and the social and the economic dimension of this. But for the student of PSSD, this is the course really related. It's a monographic course, so it's not a lab, okay? Even though you will see it's organized both by frontal lecture like the one that I will give today, as well as design exercise, okay? So now I will tell you what is the course about, the modality, so the course scope, the structure and content, the exam modality, very important, the learning resources, so the bibliography, the different type of resources that I can offer to you to learn, okay? And some other information. So the course scope, so we said now the intended learning outcomes. So let's say that I promise to you that I promise if you follow the course, but actually what I'm telling you is that if you follow the course, you will be able to design sustainable product service system. It means you will be able to design product service system as you are already able to do because you have been studying this, but to be environmentally, socio-ethically, and economically sustainable, okay? With a specific focus on distributed economies. Now, I'm not going to in the detail of this. We will see something at the end of the last part of the lecture. But distributed is opposed to centralized economy, so big factory or big farm compared to I'm cultivating the tomatoes at my home, okay? Distributed is this, a big farm with intensive farming is a centralized system, okay? The second is that you will be able to adapt the knowledge base, the information, the knowledge that you have learned, and the know-how, so how to apply this in an operative way during a design process in different setting and situation. So in an enterprise, if you have a design studio, in an organization that could be different from an enterprise, an NGO, or wherever. Wherever the role of a designer or a system designer is required. And the third is that you will be able to use some tool to orientate PSS design towards sustainable solution. Okay? So we will give attention to the use of those tools. So that if you are designing something, you know, okay, now during the process, now I know that I can use this tool to obtain this result in this way and so on. All right? This is why we are going to make a design exercise. So how is it structured and what are the content? So we have 5 frontal lecture, like the one that we are starting today. They are half a day. But we will have 7 half day of design exercise. So what are the subjects? So we will discuss sustainable development and design, so the reference framework. Then I will make an introduction. So this is an introduction to product lifecycle design. Then I will start to speak about sustainable product service system and why they are win-win offer model. This word is important, win-win, we will learn. So they are interesting at the same time in environmental, socio-ethical, and economical terms. This is why we are studying, and this is why they are so important to be understood and to be designed. Then we will speak about the distributed economy or sustainable distributed economy. And finally, we will see even what does it mean to design a product service system and distributed economy, or the combination of two, something that we call system design for sustainability, okay? So the course is not product service system design for sustainability, could have been, but since we are speaking even about distributed economy and a wider approach, I prefer the terminology system design for sustainability. Then, and this will be the last part of the frontal lecture, but it will be an introduction to the design exercise, I will introduce you to the most operative side of the course, the methodology that we have developed in the course of the year. You know how many years I've been teaching and researching, I told you, on how to design. The methodology is called SDS, Method for System Design for Sustainability, so not so original, but it works. So this is the first part, frontal lecture. The design exercise, there will be a design brief, so you will be designing the heating in the Bovisa campus. So something that you are doing, basically, okay? To be sustainable, and of course, inspire and based on the promising concept of sustainable product service system and distributed economy. I will tell you something about the design exercise later, but I want to warn you since the beginning, this is not a lab, okay? So the aim is not to design the perfect concept, okay, at the end. This is not the aim. It's to use a design process, group work, discussion among the group with the student, discussion with me and Lorenzo, and so on, to learn key concept of the theory part. When you do this while designing, you definitely learn it better. The second aim that you learn, since you do a design exercise, so you follow anyhow a design path, where and how to use the sustainability design orienting toolkit. The other toolkit, the system map and other tools that maybe you have been using, the blueprint, we are using other tools. So we don't care. So this is not what we are looking for. And we are not looking for the perfect concept. But the concept that you will develop and present at the end of the course will show the quality of that you have learned in relation to SDSS and distributed economy. Okay? Is that. So it's not that you have to design a perfect concept. Here, because one said, oh, but I didn't have that much time to develop them. Sometimes it comes out, many beautiful projects come out anyhow, but this is not the point, okay? You can do this in other labs or in other situations, or in your future life of designer. So I go to learning resources and the bibliographies and others. So there is one book, this one. This is open access. Open access means, first of all, you don't have to pay. Okay, that's good, if you want to have it. One, so you can download it, and you can download it, there is the link there. All this slide will be online in a while, so you don't need to take notes. I will put both the video and the slide online, okay? So if you want to take a picture, you can do it, but this will be available, and it's available even on the program on WebIP and so on. Open access means even that this book can be translated and can be remixed and redo by other colleagues, other authors in another language, updating or modifying or adapting to the context. This has been translated in Portuguese indeed, as well as in Spanish recently, okay? Of course, with some modification. This came out from a wide research with 36 universities worldwide included, from all of the continents almost, but I will tell you something later. The second book is this one. If you want to give a look, I leave them here. This I wrote it with some collaborators, some researcher of the Lens Lab, because there is something that was not in this book. So, for example, the description of some tools, some guidelines, some example, and something that were not here inside. So I have this second book. And of course, even this, I did it open access, so it's free. So you can download it without paying anything. You can even buy the two of them, okay? You have the printed version, but that's up to you. They don't cost that much, but if you want to study on the book, you can do that. Then we have some hands out, because we have updated some tools compared to the tools that we developed during some EU-funded research that were described in this book. Now these tools are Miro-based tools, so they are on a platform. Maybe you are using Figma, you know Miro, I believe. Yes, okay. We decided Miro because Miro, maybe you are using more Figma than Miro, but I know that you can use Miro very well, because Miro is, Figma is just for designer, and we wanted to have it more open even for other audience. So that will be how to use the tool and the sense and so on. This will be on this handout that we did. We will integrate in the second version of this book, but it's not yet ready to be integrated, so I will give it to you, and you can have access here. No, it's not important now, but I leave you this information. We have updated even some guidelines, environmental and socio-ethical guidelines, and some example, because the time is passing, and so we will have hands out even related to this. This is not yet available. We are finalizing it. And even this will be, of course, this we are doing is not published. Of course, it will be free for you. Everything is free. What is not free, indeed, but is optional, is this book. This is called Design for Environmental Sustainability. This is related to product design for how to design product with a low environmental impact. Okay, this is the English version. News is that I asked the library to have the digital version for free. So you can book the digital version and read it if you are interested. This is not the core of this course. And the book has been translated in other languages, so online you may find if someone is interested, but this is not. Said this, these are the books. So we have even some books. Some like to study on the books or go on and re-listen or reread something on the book if they were here on the course. But on the website of our lab, the Lens Lab, there you find the address, but I tell you, all the slides are available and so on, and I will inform you when the slides and the video that I have recorded today will be available and so on. You go on Learning Resources, you click on Courses, then you click on the course of this year, System Design for Sustainability with Solid 2025. When you click there, you access a YouTube channel into which you will find there is the title of the course and all the lecture, okay? So let's say each slide that I'm presenting, it has a video, okay? So there is a video and a slide and something else that I will tell you. So here is the list of the video, the single lecture. Then you click on one of those, you open another page, then the video of the lecture starts immediately. You can stop it or go on listening. But the other thing is that you can, below, you can click and download what? The slide and the self-test. The self-test, I will tell you, is another tool that we are using, that I gave you as a tool to support your learning exercise. A self-test is basically a PDF files in which you have the question, you try to answer the question, maybe I will show you it later, you will click go to correct answer, you read the correct answer, and then you can go back and try to answer again, or you know which is the correct question, and so on. And this is important when I've been making courses on the new study on cognitive study on learning, what is the best way of learning, the fact of trying to answer to something when some time has passed, and trying to answer before reading the answer help achieve, activate in the best way your learning. So it's the most effective. Now they are making lots of study over those. So these are science-based knowledge, okay? So that we decided to make this. Now it's a couple of years that we are doing this. The other thing is that the question that you find here are the same question that you will find in the written examination. So, you know, I anticipated something. For attending student, there will be a written examination. I will tell you more later. And find a professor that give you almost all the question and the correct answer, and I give you a prize. But the point for me is not that, well, there are several questions, of course, and maybe there is some question that is not into this. But for me, it's not. I don't care about this. Okay, for me, if you learn, you learn. That's the point. All right. You take the way you want. You come here to listen to the lecture. You read just on the book. You look at the slide. Maybe the self-test alone is not enough because you don't get the overall picture. But to capture the main thing could be quite useful, and I would suggest the book club is another tool that I'm using, and so on. So for each lecture, you will find the key question with the correct answer, and the possibility to check if you have well answered or not, and to go back and to redo if this is the case, okay? We have a section of tools. Now I go fast here, where you will find the system design for sustainability tools. This is not interesting now, but you will go there to download the tools that you have. And it works the same. So you are in a YouTube channel, you click on the tool you want, either you download or you have access to the Miroverse, where you can make a copy of the tool and work with it and so on. And you can download the tool guide and so on. Still on the Lens website, we have a set of cases and guidelines. This is not more than the one that we will present during one lecture. It won't be the next, well, I don't know, the third or the fourth lecture. I can't remember exactly. Nevertheless, if you go there, you will find, for example, for system design for environmental sustainability, which is a strategy. So you want to, you want to see which are the sub-strategy and guidelines. You click on the sub-strategy, you see the guidelines. Guidelines are supportive to generate idea. We will see these are not only a knowledge, they will be embedded in a tool. So it's even a know-how. So it will be into a tool. Okay, so we embed the knowledge into practical tools. So you will have and you will have access either to the guidelines, or you click and you can see an example of that exemplify that guidelines and so on. Okay, so this is some information. Online resources, as I told you, are on the Lens website, but of course you are using WeBeep, so we will use WeBeep as well, definitely. So when I put the lecture on the YouTube, I will make a link in WeBeep. So if you go to WeBeep, recorded lecture, video of the lecture, you click and you see the lecture. That is not on WeBeep, because on WeBeep it's not edited, it's in this way. So you click there and you access to the other. But you can do it from WeBeep, so you don't need to go to the Lens website if you don't feel comfortable, okay? To the Lens Lab. And you can even download the slide as well and the self-test. You will find the program, the calendar, the bibliography, the rules for attending and non-attending students, and the exam modalities, and few other things that are related to the design exercise. And of course, this is the place where you, at the end of each day, basically, you will have to, you have a delivery to upload to a folder that we will create, okay? What is on the Lens Lab website I already told, so I'm not going to repeat. So very important exam modality. So if it's not clear what I'm going to say, ask me 3, 4, 5, 10 times, all right? They are different for attending and non-attending student. So you could be an attending student or a non-attending student. For the attending student, there is a written exam, and it counts 40% of the total marks, okay? So you can get the marks up to 30 cum laude, and discount on 40%. And where you get the information from the lecture that we are doing here, from the video, the slide, the self-test, the books, and so you decide the mix of the resources that you want to use. Okay, so you're free about this. For attending student, we have the design exercise as I told you. So we will assess the correct use of the tool, of the system design for sustainability tools. So not, I'm not checking whether you are using well a blueprint or another tool that we may suggest you to use to do something closer to what a blueprint can do, okay? But only the tools that are supported to generate sustainable PSS concept. And this, the maximum point is 30 cum laude, and it will be weighted 30%, okay? The other we are going to evaluate is the concept that you will present at the end as a group, the concept in itself, but the sustainability quality that you have inserted in the concept. So if it's fragile in terms of because you didn't have the time to do it properly in relation to some issue, technical characteristic of some, but if you well understood and you well inserted the key points of the win-win potential of sustainable product service system and distributed economy, well designed, this is what I'm going to assess. Only this. So the sustainability qualities. All right? Clear? So not if the concept is the best, but if you well understood the sustainability quality. Okay? The maximum is 30 cum laude. Again, it weighs 30%. 40 plus 30 plus 30 is 100%. So at the end, you will have a weighted evaluation based on this. All right? So the first is the written examination is individual. The other is a work group. So I had even the possibility to make an evaluation which is an individual evaluation, mixing it with a group work. So if you are an attending student and everything is fine, we give the mark at the end and we publish the marks. You say, I'm happy for that, and we don't see anymore, or hopefully we will see in the campus or somewhere else, but we just put the mark online. If the attending student has a written examination that is below the passing mark, has to make an oral examination, which is on the same topic of the written examination, okay? Or because for the student was not possible to make the written examination, so I have to do an oral examination, or the student is not happy by the marks that he gets. It's 30, but 30 is not enough. If I just really want to have 30 cum laude because this is important for me, okay, I can make an oral examination with the risk that in the oral examination I have more possibility to understand the quality of, and so the mark could be never happen, but could be even lower. Usually, if someone decides to make to take a higher marks, it's because he's preparing better, because maybe the student, she or he didn't have enough time to prepare for the written examination and so on. Another important thing, very important, is that In the written examination, there is no question related to the methodology and the tools, okay? No one question. Why? Because these are assessed during the design exercise. For the non-attending student, in the oral examination, I will ask both the theory, so all that could be in the written examination for non-attending students, but I will ask them to show how to use the tools, what is the sense of the tools, when to use it, and the methodologies and so on, okay? Something that attending students have learned during the design exercise. So there is it's a part quite important. And for me, it's important that a non-attending student knows even not just the theory, but even how to use practical tools in the real design situation, okay? So non-attending student has to make even a written report, so a case study over an SPSS, and there is a format that the non-attending student can find online. There is one rule for attending student. You are not obliged to come to the frontal lecture. So if I'm not taking, you are not here, I'm not taking the attendance. We will start to take the presence of the student in the class when we are making the design exercise, of course, because we want to know if the student did the design exercise or not. So we will take the signature and so on, okay? Of course, if something may happen during the design exercise, one cannot come for different reasons. So in principle, I accept that one absence is okay. But I inform you that if a student was not present when using an important tool, I will make a very short exam that sometimes lasts like from 2 to 5 minutes, no more, like this, to tell me how to use the tool, okay, that tool, to complete the overall mark, okay? Because for me it's important that even attending student knows how to use all of the tools. So about the written examination, be multiple choice and open question, covering, as I said, the lecture, the frontal lecture, excluding the methodology and the tools, okay? Excluding that part.